Hey guys, Brian here from Thumper Fab. Today I'm going to walk you through installing our new sport bumper on your Polaris Pro R. Here we have our parts laid out for our new Pro R sport bumper. We'll have a couple different options based on your vehicle and what you plan on doing with the bumper. Here you can see our winch mount, which works in place of our factory Polaris winch mount if you did not select the Polaris winch mount from the factory when you purchased the vehicle. Moving forward, we have our upper mount bracket. This is for vehicles that are equipped with the factory Polaris winch and mount assembly. Followed by our lower mount. We have our fair lead cover plate if you decide not to run a winch. We'll move on to our main bumper body and our assorted hardware and everything to get it bolted up. To prep for the installation, I went ahead and removed this center plastic piece as well as the fair lead and winch hook. As in this installation, we're going to be mounting to our factory Polaris winch mount. We'll relocate the fair lead to mount our bumper shell on, as well as our lower mount bracket before putting the bumper up on the vehicle. With our center plastic piece removed, we'll go ahead and remove the 4 T40 Torx bits that fasten your outer plastic shell onto the vehicle. We'll leave it in place, but it'll give us access to our fasteners and make the installation process easier before tightening it back up once the bumper is installed. With our T40 body bolts out of the way, we'll go ahead and remove this plastic shell for now, which will give us the best access to our 2 lower bolts that will be used to mount our lower mounting bracket before moving on to our upper mounting bracket. For the next step, we'll use a 15mm socket and remove our 2 lower mounting bolts for our factory Polaris winch mount. These bolts will be reused to mount your lower mounting bracket. You'll simply take your 2 Polaris OEM bolts, grab your lower mounting bracket, hold it into position, and reinstall your bolts before tightening them up. With your bolts started, you can go ahead and tighten them up. You want to make sure your bracket's centered before tightening it all the way down. Here we're going to remove our 2 bolts that held on the fair lead to your factory winch mount. We'll grab our upper mount bracket. You can see here, it's going to drop down that fair lead opening just a hair. We're going to install our hex bolts in here, and we'll use our nice socket cap screws on the outside when we mount our fair lead. With our mount brackets loosely in place, I'm going to loosely install our main plastic piece back in position. You want to leave the screws out of it for now, as you'll have to pull this back to gain good access to your nut on the inside of the bumper body. Once we get the bumper all tightened up, we'll return and tighten these up with our T40 body bolts. We're ready for the next step. Before we mount our bumper body to our mount brackets, it'll be a lot easier if we go ahead and install our lights from the get-go. We'll take our KC lights, remove the lock nuts that come with them, insert them through the slots found at the top of our bumper. With our lights securely fastened to our bumper, we're going to grab our fair lead and our mounting hardware. We'll go ahead and start the 2 upper mounting bolts before moving on to the bottom 2. For this installation, since we're reusing the factory winch and fair lead, we're going to reuse the socket cap screws for a nice clean finish up against the factory fair lead. For the first step of mounting the bumper to the vehicle, you'll feed your bolts through your fair lead and get them started into your upper mount bracket. Next, you'll move on to installing the bolts in your lower bracket. You'll keep your plastic piece loose so you can pivot it out of the way so you can gain access to your lock nuts that you'll install on the inside. Once you have your lower mount fully tightened up, you can return, tighten up your upper mount, and finally tighten up your plastics, and you're ready to go. With our lower mount bolts started, we'll go ahead and tighten them up using our 13mm socket and 13mm wrench. As you can see here, I pulled the plastic out of the way to gain access to the lock nut. We'll go ahead and get it all snugged up. With our lower mounting bolts fully tight, we'll return to our upper mounting bolts. We'll tighten them up, reinstall our plastics. With our bumper fully tight, we'll go ahead and snap our plastic pieces back into position where they can be all tightened up. We'll reuse our T40 body bolts, get it cinched up, and we can move on to the next step. For the last step of our install process, we'll go ahead and reinstall our winch hook using the factory clevis and locking pin. Just simply slide the clevis through your winch rope, reinstall your pin in the same way that you removed it. You're ready to hit the trails and enjoy your new Thumper Fab Pro R Sport Bumper.